Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Danny Taylor, co-owner of VeganProteins Online Coaching, and it is Sunday and I have very little time to meal prep for the week. So that's what I'm going to show you. My ambition here is to start the timer at 1 hour and have my meals ready for the week. Now, what have I done beforehand? I've obviously grocery shopped and I've pulled most of the ingredients onto the counter and my measuring cups and things like that, because I'm gonna try to not film just my hands. I'm gonna try to film the whole thing here. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Because I think that sometimes the highly edited videos don't really give you a good indication of how quickly some things can happen when you're just moving through it, right? So that's what I want to show you. I'm also going to try to have lots of fruits and vegetables in this. It's going to be somewhere in the vicinity of 2,000 calories and 130-ish grams of protein. So that's what I want to show you. If you're a vegan who's looking to build muscle, lose fat, learn how to be a healthier, fitter vegan, then you've come to the right place, because we put out videos every single week with recipes, meal plans, tips, tricks, and educational videos. So be sure to hit subscribe. I don't want to waste too much time here. So I think I'm gonna set the camera up and start the clock. But before I do, I just wanna give you an idea of what we have here. I know the lighting's not very good there. So I have some ingredients pulled out onto the counter, but I haven't actually weighed or measured anything out. Very few things are chopped, and that's because they're left over from last week. So I think this is a pretty honest representation of what we can get done in an hour. And I'm also gonna be kind of talking to the camera while I do it, which usually I just talk afterwards in a voiceover. All right, I think we are just about ready to go. How confident we feeling? All right, without further ado, let's get this done. So I'll talk as I do, and hopefully that'll be good. So I'm gonna set the timer for 60 minutes. Why does this feel so stressful right now? And here we go. All right, so the thing that's gonna take the longest to cook is going to be the tofu. So I'm going to start with that. I have 3 packages of tofu. I'm gonna drain them, chop them, season them, and toss them in the air fryer. Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to start this recording too. You guys are gonna see lights in the background. It's just what's gonna happen. Okay, Z tofu. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Bonus piece. Okay, so I'm gonna chop these into cubes. This is not the highest quality tofu, which I happen to think is the Hodo tofu, but it's what I've got today. Okay, and I'm gonna put it all in a bowl. Okay, and I'm gonna be a little gentle with it because it isn't the best quality tofu. I'm just gonna let it run. That's what I think I'm gonna do. Just let it run the whole time. Who knows, maybe there'll be some other interesting shots in there. I have no idea. Okay, so now I have this big bowl of cubed tofu. I am going to salt it pretty liberally and put garlic and onion powder on it. Also pretty liberally. So the way that I'm doing this is I'm definitely starting with the recipes that are going to take the longest, and that is always the smartest move, always. Otherwise, you finish your easy, short recipes first, and then you're just standing around waiting for the last recipes to finish cooking. So I'm just gonna use my hands and gently kind of toss this. Could add some nooch to it if I wanted to. Yeah, it's getting a little bit crumbly, so I don't want to do too much. Another pro tip, have 2 towels, one for wiping your counters and one for your hands, okay? So I'm gonna toss this all in the air fryer, and I have 3 different air fryer trays, I guess. One is a flat bottomed pan, so this one doesn't do as great of a job sort of getting the air circulating. There's the actual air fryer pan, which is the best one. And then there's this annoying one that's just slats. So I think I'm actually gonna put a piece of parchment paper on that, just so it doesn't fall through the slats. Okay. Crumpling it, opening it up, and I'm just trying to cover most of the slats here. And we wanna make sure that we're not crowding the tofu. That's why I'm using all 3 of the trays here. So we wanna give them all a little bit of space. And I'm gonna pop all 3 of them in there at 380 degrees for 25 minutes, and then we'll see how they're doing. Top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf. Start. Rinse my hands. Rinse my bowl, because I might use it again. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is gonna be part of our lunch, which is going to be a chickpea quinoa pilaf. So I'm going to get a large pan and the proper lid. Success. Okay. So first I need to chop an onion. So I'm gonna do that. Garlic, did I pull the garlic press out? No. Prepare though you might. A little bit of this. So if you're curious what that is over here, these are all my recipes that I have laid out so that I know exactly what I'm doing before I even start. Get the papery skin off. Oh, I get the worst tears with onions. Chewing gum helps, but I'm not gonna do that while I'm making a video. So this does not have to be a perfect chop. As you guys know, I'm not capable of that anyway. I've told you guys I've worked in restaurants and had for many years, but what I didn't tell you is I worked front of house guys, not back of house. I am not a chef. Okay, that's good enough. So now we're gonna get our pot on the stove. Hope that works. Okay. Pop that over medium heat. And I'm gonna hit it with a tablespoon of olive oil. That's good. Ah, not on my nice pants. You guys are like, those are not nice pants, guys. They are, they're very comfortable. Just gonna let that heat up just a little bit. You can already hear it sizzling. Gonna put my onion in. Okay. Give it a quick stir. I'm gonna let that go for about 2 minutes. Getting my garlic ready in my press here, because that's gonna go in next. And I'm gonna start chopping my broccoli, because that's gonna be part of lunch as well. And I have 3 broccoli heads here. I know, the angle is not good. I'm just gonna toss that into another pot. And all of this stuff has already been washed. Yes. Toss that in the pot, and it sounds, oh, these are big pieces also. It sounds like our onions behind me need tending. So let's do that. Quick stir. Okay, everything's looking good. I'm just turning it down just a little bit. And I have 3 cloves of garlic that I'm gonna squeeze right in there. And that is only gonna need like a minute before we move on to our next step. Okay, added some water to the broccoli. We getting that going, okay? Put my compost in the compost, which is very full, and I should have looked at that before I started filming. Okay, I need my tomato paste, I need my cumin, and I need my salt. Okay, so this is on like a 4 out of 8 right now. I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of salt, and this is a modified recipe from 𝐸𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞𝐿. I hope I'm saying her name correctly, from a million years ago. And I'm gonna add a tablespoon of tomato paste that I'm gonna eyeball. That was actually closer to like 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. It's okay. Let's give you guys a quick gander at what that looks like. Please don't stop recording. Okay. Now, we are gonna add a cup of quinoa. Totally missed in that last bit there. It's all over the counter. Okay, adding a cup of quinoa. And I'm gonna saute that for about a minute. That just toasts the quinoa up, makes it really tasty. Okay, and clean up my mess. Deal with that later. Okay, compost. Give this a quick rinse. Okay. Okay, gonna add 2 cups of water. And 2 cans of drained chickpeas. So this is where it deviates from her recipes. I use twice as many chickpeas because I really like chickpeas. Oh, this can opener has seen better days. What happened to it? Like in the last week or so. Okay, just gonna drain these in the sink. Let's see, can we see me in the sink? Drain them. I fill them with water. I drain them and then fill the cans with water, shake them around and do that a few times. And if someone's like, why didn't you save the aquafaba? I have saved so much aquafaba in my life that just sat in my fridge forever and didn't get used. So now I only save aquafaba if I know I need it for something. Okay, so I added water to this because I think I'm out of vegetable broth, which is crazy. I should go check in the basement. I'm gonna do that. That would be different. That would be different. Okay, let's try it. So I am out of better than bouillon, which never happens. But I do have this onion soup mix, which definitely has a use by date in 2024. But I'm going to use it. So that's what you do, right? You use what you have. It's a dried soup mix. It smells fine. So I'm gonna use like half of it. And I will deal with that later. Okay, so it's gonna be more oniony than normal, but who doesn't love that? Okay, covering up our broccoli. And then as soon as this comes to a boil, I'm gonna cover it, lower the heat, and let it simmer for 18 minutes. Okay, that's lunch. Those 3 things are lunch. So let's move on. The next thing I wanna do is I wanna have like a pickled vegetable snack around lunchtime. So here's what I'm gonna do. Saucepan, vinegar, just regular old white vinegar. I'm gonna add about 1.5 cups. And then just as much water. Okay. Big pinch of salt, 2 big pinches of salt. And I'm gonna set that right here. Now, normally if I'm doing like a vinegar pickle, which is like a cheater pickle, then I don't heat up the vegetables. But carrots are really dense and hard, so I am going to cook the carrots a little bit in the vinegar first before I pour it over the rest. So this is a 2-pound bag. I'm gonna use half the bag, so it's gonna be 1 pound of carrots. Put it in the back. Whoops, wrong burner. There There we go. Actually, that's the tiny burner. It's the baby burner. There we go. Okay, and I'm just gonna put that over medium. This just came to a boil. We cover, lower the heat, and set the timer for 18 minutes. This can actually go back. Now for the rest of the pickle snack, I'm actually gonna do cucumbers. So these are slightly sad looking cucumbers. But that's okay, we're not gonna judge them for that. So I'm just gonna slice off the ends. Looks like maybe my fridge was actually too cold. I'll show you what that looks like. When it looks like kind of clear like that, it usually means that they were frozen at some point. So one end of it froze. It's okay. And then this, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna cut it off. So normally I cut cucumbers into coins, but because I'm doing it with carrots, I'm gonna cut them into like sticks instead. Oh, I missed that end. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay. So yeah, you can see where it froze. I'll probably still eat it because I'm not that worried about it, and I'm gonna put it in a vinegar solution anyway. So let's just cut these into some matchsticks. I'm gonna make them about the same size as the carrots would be, and I wanna get a container to put them in. What container do I wanna put them in? I think I'll put them in here. Okay. Maybe not. They feel a little gummy. If I don't like it, then I won't eat those ones. So the key to this meal prep is that I have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 3 snacks, but most of these are not really a meal prep. It's just like putting things together. You'll see. There's very few meals that actually need to be prepped. Even this, I'm being fancy. I don't need to make a pickle. I could just eat vegetables. I might need a larger container than what I have here. I know what I'll use. I know. Because you want it to be, if you're doing something like this, you want it to be either be shallow or it's gotta like fill all the way up to the top like a jar. Okay. So I'm gonna set this aside. Okay. The next snack is gonna be even simpler than that. Okay, I ended up not using that. Don't need this anymore. So the next snack. Can we see that? Yeah, we can kind of see that. Is gonna be nectarine and an ounce of almonds. So I already have the nectarines. I just gotta wash them and take the stickers off. Easy peasy. And then for the almonds, I'm just gonna weigh out an ounce into some little baggies. And I actually do have a lot of like reusable silicone stasher bags, but 𝐬𝐻𝐾 is using them all right now. So what are you gonna do? Use these. Boom. Perfect. 1. Pretty good at getting close. That's light. Yep. Beautiful. Show you guys what that looks like. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can do it. Can I nail it just to prove it to you guys? Boom! So 28 grams is an ounce, just so you know. Can I do it again? Very close, very close. It's lying. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, a lot of people actually don't like raw almonds. I love raw almonds. I like them much better than roasted or salted or flavored almonds or anything like that. They're so sweet. Oh gosh. And with nectarines or peaches, absolute favorite. So that I can use these bags again, I don't like tie them in a knot. Can I reach it? Ooh. I actually use a paper clip and just like hold the bag shut with a paper clip. And then if I'm making bags of other like dry snacks like this, it's pretty easy to reuse them, as I now struggle with the paper clip. So that is snack number 2 is done. I want to check on our broccoli. So the biggest thing about having lots of things going at once is you just don't want to forget about stuff and have it burn. So erring on the side of setting stuff to a lower heat is usually a good idea when you're cooking several things at once, as long as that's not gonna make the dish like weird and mushy. 4, no, that's 5, 6, 7. All right, done. Snack, done. Set it over here. Okay, let's check out our broccoli. We want it to be bright green. She bright green. I'm shutting it off and I'm draining it immediately. Because if I let it just sit there, it's gonna continue to cook and get soggy. And I don't want that. Okay, taking the lid off, just letting it sit on the counter like that. Our carrots are boiling. So I only really want them to boil for like a minute or 2, because I'm not trying to get a mushy, soft carrot. Okay, I'll give it like 1 more minute. And then I remember I wanted to use this dish instead. So I will be using these sandwich bags again, so I need to keep them accessible. Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna be better. Because it's a little shallower, it's a little bit wider. Okay, better. That's good. Taking my vinegar pickle solution with my carrots. Whew. That vinegar hits you in the face. And now, I'm not gonna put this straight in the fridge. You should never put food that's this hot straight in the fridge. You should let it cool to room temperature on your counter and then put it in the fridge. Otherwise, you risk heating up the stuff in your fridge. So I'm just gonna set this aside. Okay, what do we have next? Next is dinner. Okay, so dinner is an example of one that is very, very easy. So I got 7 of these from Aldi. Hopefully you can see them. They're little noodle cups that have 20 grams of protein in them. I actually eat a lot of top ramen, believe it or not. And the downside to top ramen is those noodles are fried. They're dried, but they're fried. So it has like 14 or 17 grams of fat per package. So the fact that this one has 14 is actually still a step in the right direction, because it's lower in carbs, it's higher in protein. They're chicken and beef flavored, but they are vegan. But this does not make a meal. So we need to add stuff to make it a meal. Okay, so I'm gonna make little bags to go with this. So all I have to do when it's dinner time is boil the water with the noodles and the vegetables, and voila, she's done. So I'm gonna be adding bok choy, edamame, and mushrooms. So, oh, don't bump the camera, please. Okay, so I have 3 little cans of mushrooms, and I'm gonna drain them and divide them up into 7 little baggies. Alternatively, I could put all the vegetables like in a big container and just scoop out roughly a 1/7, but for the purposes of making a meal prep video, I'm gonna do this just so I can show you guys, okay? Okay. Okay, last one. I'm just gonna take a peek at this quinoa. Okay, I'm gonna turn it down even a little bit lower than that, actually. Okay. You could also use fresh mushrooms. I just have these, and I am a big believer in using what you have. So 7 bags, 3 cans. I'm gonna use a little bit less than half a can per, and just kind of eyeball it. That's our tofu being done. Ew, my cutting board is still clean but wet. Okay, add a little bit more to all of these. That one's a little light. Looks like they're pretty even. Rinse that later. So let's take a look at the tofu. I should bring it over to show you. This is what happens when you have 3 different baskets that are a little bit different. So some layers are gonna cook a bit differently. So you can see the top layer looks good and crispy. Can we see that? There we go, good and crispy. So I'll set that one aside. This one does not at all. And the one beneath it also doesn't look great. So I'm gonna pop that back in for, I don't know, I'm just gonna start it for 25 minutes and just keep an eye on it. Okay. All right, adding our edamame. Okay, so I usually add about 90 grams of edamame to my noodles. Do I have enough to do that? 340 and 50, so let's say 400. Okay, so let's do 50 grams instead. So I'm just tearing out my scale in between. Close enough. Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Oops, tear. Okay, 3 more. So it's coming out to be about a half a cup. Did you guys see that? Edamame just flew by my head. Oops, I forgot to tear this one. Guess we're eyeballing it a little. Okay. All right, so now we have the edamame in there, which is great. Now we're just gonna add the bok choy, and that is the only vegetable that is pre-chopped because I started doing it and then remembered, oh, I'm doing it for this video. So bok choy, we love it, and I am just going to stuff some of it into each one of these bags without weighing or measuring. I am just eyeballing here. When it comes to non-starchy vegetables, I don't get too precious about weighing or measuring them unless I'm in a serious fat loss phase, which I am very much not. So this was about a whole head of bok choy that we get from our CSA, which we signed up for this year, that I am so loving. It's encouraging me to eat so many different kinds of vegetables than I normally do. And I wasn't really sure what to do with bok choy. It's not something that I could, oops, I missed it. I have an extra bag. Oh well, I'm gonna have to pull some out. I don't usually cook with bok choy, so I wasn't totally sure what to do with it. But putting it in ramen has been awesome, actually, and so delicious, and really don't have to think about it too much. Get a little bit out of these. These ones are a bit fuller. Okay, so that's it. These are done. Set them aside. So we have dinner done, we have 2 of our 3 snacks done, and lunch is technically still cooking, but it's the hard part's done. The dishes, on the other hand, are not done. That is done. Let's move on to our shake. So we're gonna do a protein shake. So we're gonna use our baggies one more time. Set these aside. So how do you prep a shake? We are going to, what is a better option than the bags that I have right now? I don't have enough of anything to use anything but bags because 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐿 has all the stasher bags. All right, that's what we gotta use. Sorry, guys. So that's done. Gonna shut it off, and it's gotta sit for a few minutes before we fluff it with a fork. So we're gonna pull out our 7 bags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you count? And let's get started. So each one's gonna get a half a banana. And I'm not even gonna cut it into coins or anything. I have a really strong blender, so that's what I'm gonna do. Just put a whole half of a banana in each one of these bags. If I had more time, I'd cut them into coins, I'd lay them out flat, and then I'd freeze them that way. But I don't have more time. I have 23 minutes, which is not a lot of time. If you wanted to be very precise, you could weigh these bananas. I'm not doing that today. 2, 3, 4, 5. And this particular shake is so freaking good. It's so good. Okay, and I have extra half a banana. Next, we're gonna do a half of an orange. Now, These are not washed because I'm not gonna eat the peel. I'm also not very good at peeling oranges. Doesn't account for peel time. I almost had Giacomo get cuties for me because they're easier to peel. And because I feel like oranges have been really hit or miss for me lately. But I feel like that's been all fruit. Do you guys feel that way? I feel like a couple years ago, like fruit largely was just good, like always good. And now it is not always good, not even close. Like I don't remember the last time I had a good mango. And I used to live off mangoes. Okay. Does look like it's cooking up a little bit better in there. So I'm not trying to peel these all nice or anything because I'm just gonna chop them and put them in these bags. What do I have after this? Oh, just breakfast. And that's easy. That's super easy. I'm not even gonna divide that one up because it's so easy, but I'll show you how I do it. Okay. So, half an orange. I guess I could just segment it in each one of these bags. One. That juice be flying. Two. Oh, I have to do the fourth one too, don't I? Wow, that was some really bad math, Danny. Yikes. Okay. I was like, why did Giacomo get an extra orange? Because you can't do math. Actually can. I'm pretty good at math, believe it or not. It's not in this moment. Okay, with the slippery fingers, you gotta be very careful when you're cutting things. See how thick this skin is? Crazy. Just not good oranges, man. Just not good. Okay, so really only need another half an orange. Okay. There we go. That is not gonna fit in my compost bag right now. Let's get a new compost bag. So I did, in doing this, try to keep Michael Greger's, you know, what is it called? Daily Dozen in mind. Oh, I didn't take the stickers off. All right, I gotta go back through this and peel the stickers off. I won't forget. Okay. So there's a lot of fruits and vegetables in here and lots of different fruit and veg variety. So we are gonna add some pineapple, which, yes, beautiful. Cans of pineapple, no sugar added pineapple. If I was doing this fresh, I'd use the juice, but I'm not. Okay. Okay. So, let's see what we got here. All right. Apologies for the chaos. Yes, it's recording. I do. At least 15 minutes, but probably 15 minutes. Sorry, I'm going as fast as I can. I assure you.
30 minutes fast?
No, not 30 minutes fast because that made me want to rip my hair out. 1 hour fast. Yeah. So I'm just adding the pineapple to the bags. And I actually kind of love canned pineapple. Does it smell good? Okay. Fresh fruit, you said? Oh yeah. Fresh from the can. I love fresh pineapple more than I love canned pineapple, to be clear. But again, sometimes you get them and they're just terrible. Okay. Boom, we got that. This is a juicy disaster. Okay, now we're gonna add the protein to the bag. So all I have right now is plain, unflavored pea protein. And I'm gonna add 1 scoop of that to each of these bags. Oh, tell me the scoop isn't like buried in there. Oh, it totally is, and or it's just not in there at all. Ugh. All right. Use the 1/8 of a cup. That's pretty close. Okay, so I'm gonna use a rounded 1/8 of a cup. That's gonna be about the size of an actual protein powder scoop. Okay. Actually, that looks a little light. I don't think it actually reached the bottom there. 1. There we go, that's better. 2. If you had vanilla, it would taste a lot better, but I don't have that right now. 3. 4. Now these bags are getting pretty full. And I feel like I'm gonna have to show this to you actually when it's mixed up so you can see how delicious it is. Because there's also kale and coconut water that's gonna go in here, but I'm not gonna freeze those in advance. Certainly not the coconut water. Maybe the kale, because I'll probably chop it up and do it in advance. Okay, boom. So now I'm just gonna seal these up and they're all gonna go in the freezer. Okay, so that's aside. What can I put my kale in? Probably this, okay. So I'll use this for my kale that is also gonna go with those. Okay. Wow, it's crazy how clean this looks on the camera. I assure you, it doesn't look that clean in real life. So I have a whole bunch of kale that has been washed and dried, and now I'm just gonna chop it and put it in here to refrigerate or freeze for when I make these smoothies. And I go pretty far down the stem because why not? Like, you're gonna blend it up anyway. Okay, so that's good. That is done. Okay, more compost, but I can't put it in that bag because I still have to pull the stickers out of it. Okay, and let's just show you breakfast. Okay, if you're not new to this channel, you already know. You already know what it's going to be. And I'll show you how I prepare it. Ew. Protein powder. Okay, what's that? What's that? Okay. So it's gonna be 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭 peanut butter flavor, edamame puffs, and blueberries. So 𝐃𝐨 peanut butter. I have another box downstairs, so I'll fill this back up over the course of the week, and then it's 2 of these measuring cups that are in there. Edamame puffs. It's just one of the scoops that are in there. So this comes together in approximately 12 seconds. And then I am gonna top it with blueberries and flax meal. So I'll show you how I do the flax meal. I have a coffee grinder and I'll show it to you here. Okay, there's my flax. Okay. So we use these empty ones to put seeds and nuts in. So I'm just going to either dump it in here or in there. Probably gonna start there. That's a lot. We'll see what happens. So then I just put this on, and this is the button I push. And I like to give it a little shake. Okay, and I tip it upside down. Hope that it all fits. It does. And then I'm gonna put it right back in here to go into my breakfast, so. Hand funnel. Not perfect, but fast. I mean, that's all we missed. That's pretty good. So then a tablespoon of this, cereal, blueberries, edamame puffs, done. Okay, let's go away. And now we have 9 minutes left. We just gotta portion some stuff out, right? Right. So, okay. There's nothing else I need to cut, correct? I think so. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this has sat for a little bit. That looks like it came out freaking perfectly. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so now I am going to probably not use my spoon. I'll probably use a measuring cup just to get myself a little bit closer to even. But it's gonna be about just more than a half a cup, I think, but I'm gonna start with a half a cup and I'm just gonna go around. Okay. Hope this can see that, okay. Just kind of topping them all off to make them look even. Very happy with how this looks like it came out. Boom. Then we have our broccoli, which, you know, it's been sitting there for a while, so it's not super hot anymore. Our tofu may have a hard time fitting in here, actually. So this was 2 pounds of broccoli. That's what I started with. Okay, that's good. Put that over there. And the tofu is coming right along. Just gonna let that last one, give it just a couple more minutes in there. Give it a stir. Yeah, just a couple more minutes. So, this one's been out for a little bit, so. I could have divided this up on the trays before they went in to make sure that it's like even, but I did not do that because I'm not too worried about eyeballing it at the moment. But you wouldn't want to weigh it after, because hopefully you can see the different pans gave them slightly different textures, which means they have different finished weights. Okay. All right. So kind of, ah, no! Do, 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 do. Oh, what is wrong with me? Okay. There we go. And the last tray has a little bit less on it. I don't like how the ones cooked on the flat tray quite as much. Ooh, these ones are hot. Do not try at home. But I think these will actually close. And last bit here is gnocchi. Okay. So last thing I'm gonna add is about a tablespoon of gnocchi, nutritional yeast, to these, and I'm gonna put it right on the broccoli because I think that's where it tastes the best, personally. 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐞𝐿 got me these measuring spoons. It's nice because they fit inside spice jars, but they are like pretty awkward, if I'm being honest. So this adds another, I don't know, 4 grams of protein or so, B vitamins. Boom. Okay. Put this back, shut you off. All right, and we just cover them. Oh, got 3 minutes. I feel like I'm forgetting something major. Okay. Doesn't quite fit. Don't have time for you, sir. Thank you. Speaking of not having time for someone, Xander hasn't come in here to bother me, not even once. That actually makes me a little bit worried, to be honest. Okay, let me just look over what I got here one more time. I have my pickles. I have my smoothie. I have my kale for my smoothie and my coconut water for my smoothie. Breakfast is over there. Dinner is the ramen veggie bags. It's done. I have to clean. That's probably gonna take me 15 minutes or so, but it's done. With 95 seconds to spare. So take that. Heck yes. All right. So I finished filming like 20 minutes ago, but I wanted to get all the macros together for you and show you everything sort of laid out. So this is the whole week's worth of food. This is 7 days worth of food. Sometimes I just prep 5 if I think the weekends are gonna be particularly social, but 7 this time. For the sake of showing you, it can be done. So breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, shake, dinner. The shake might actually come after dinner. I don't know. We'll see how my week shakes out. So I wanted to talk about a few things. I'm not gonna go over the macros of every single meal because I don't really think that's the point of this particular meal prep, is to show you kind of some easy, sneaky ways to get around having a meal prep that takes you the entire day. Just keep it simple. Keep it really, really simple. I mean, some of the stuff I didn't even have to do, really. I didn't have to portion this out, the almonds. I didn't have to really portion out the veggies for dinner. The shake, actually that one saves you quite a bit of time, I think. The pickles, I didn't need to make the pickles. So like there's much easier ways to do meal prep than even this, but this full day's meal prep for me is gonna come in at 1995 calories, 137 grams of protein, 224 grams of carbs, and 65 grams of fat. Now I can already hear some of you saying, that's so much higher than my macros, so skip a snack. Like this snack right here, I think, actually this snack and the pickle snack comes in at about 300 calories, so that alone would take you down to 1,700 calories without really sacrificing any protein. But if you have it as it is, the only thing that this misses out on Michael Greger's Daily Dozen is he suggests having 3 servings of whole grains, and really this is just 2. But otherwise it checks all of the boxes in terms of number of different vegetables, fruits, berries, cruciferous vegetables, leafy greens, legumes, all of it. So that's very cool. Now a lot of people are gonna be like, well, Michael Greger wouldn't approve of this meal plan. You're right, he probably wouldn't, but it does include his Daily Dozen, which is what I'm talking about here. So it's a great way to very easily incorporate lots of fruits and veggies, whole grains, whole foods, and still, you know, 1, enjoy yourself a little bit, 2, reach protein goals if you have those. So that's it. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you liked this style of like start to finish recipes that aren't like, you know, hyper edited and zoomed in, let me know. It was actually kind of a giant pain in the ass to film, if I'm being honest, because you can't just like pause and go to the bathroom or whatever. So, but if you liked it, I think there's value in seeing real time how meal prep can go. So let me know. If you are looking for any kind of one-on-one coaching, that's what we do here at Vegan Proteins. That's what we've been doing for 18 years now, is helping vegans get in the best shape of their life, whether that's to build muscle, burn body fat, lose a bunch of weight, compete in bodybuilding, compete in powerlifting. That's what we do. We have 5 highly educated vegan coaches who do exactly that, and we do have some spots open. We would love to help you be a part of your journey. We would love to help you and be a part of your journey. So I'll leave the assessment link down below. If you'd like, just fill that out. You'll hear back from 𝐬𝐻𝐾𝐿 very quickly. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, all the things I'm supposed to tell you to do at the end of a YouTube video, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.